Luke, chapter 15, Parable of the Lost Sheep. Tax collectors and other notorious sinners often came to listen to Jesus teach. This made the Pharisees and teachers of religious law complain that he was associating with such sinful people, even eating with them. So Jesus told them this story. If a man has 100 sheep and one of them gets lost, what will he do? Won't he leave the 99 others in the wilderness and go search for the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he will joyfully carry it home on his shoulders. When he arrives, he will call together his friends and neighbors, saying, "Rejoice with me, because I have found my lost sheep." In the same way, there is more joy in heaven over one lost sinner who repents and returns to God than over 99 others who are righteous and haven't strayed away.
Welcome to the 99 for 1 podcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Matt.
For some of you, it's welcome back. We're excited to be back. Matt, you excited?
Dude, I am pumped to be back.
As you were hearing, we decided to use this time to show you this video of the parable of the lost sheep. And that video is really what 99 for 1 is about. It's based off that parable in Luke. And that is why we started 99 for 1. If it's your first time listening, you know, this podcast is a faith-based podcast where me and my brother decided to reach all those lost sheep, right? It's not us, but it's the Spirit of God that lives in us that allows us to be shown who needs to hear his gospel. And I believe everyone needs to hear it. And we can all just share this video and they'll watch that opening scene now and hear the vision, the mission, and the gospel in a nutshell, right? Because Jesus did leave 99 for one lost sinner, and that's me, that's you, and that's why we're here.
And that's you who's watching as well. You are the one. And this podcast has been reaching the lost. We've reached some people through it, and we know that God is going to do even something greater as we continue to put him first and step back into this.
Yeah, like we said, welcome back, because it's been about a year since
exactly.
we've shot a podcast episode. Sadly, but also it was a blessing in disguise to take that time to really see why we decided to start 99 for 1. I think sometimes you do something and you get a little lost in the sauce. You know, you think it was all about a podcast, and the podcast is just another way where we can get to show y'all who we are, how we're just normal dudes, and also, share who Christ is in us. But yeah, we took some time off, and we really were reminded in that season of being gone of why God placed in our hearts to start 99 for 1 in the first place. And that was, it was always supposed to be a ministry. 99 for 1 was never supposed to be a podcast only.
Yeah.
I say that,
And I feel like when we started it, we weren't even we were thinking of it as a ministry, but we really weren't talking about it a lot as a ministry. And I know as we talked about coming back, you shared that with me, like, hey, this is a ministry. We're going to meet the needs of those that are out there. And God has been setting us up to do exactly just that.
As Matt said, if you aren't familiar with Christian lingo and, what a ministry is, and maybe you are a Christian and you think ministry is, just being inside the church and being a part of, the worship team or the leadership or staff. A ministry is just meeting the needs of others. That was Jesus's ministry, was to meet the needs of anyone and everyone. And that was done in different ways. Sometimes it was feeding people, healing people, meeting them where they were at. And, that's what God reminded me was, you got to meet the people where they're at, and it's not going to be in your room. You got to get out of the room. Some people get stuck in a room behind a camera. Some people get stuck inside the church. The church is a good place to get built up. But once you have that solid foundation, you got to go share what God has put inside of you.
That's right.
We were reading that in Romans this week, that we all have a gift, right? And we need to use that gift. And, me and Matt, we have, different gifts, but almost similar. We're creatives.
Yeah.
And that was why we decided to do a podcast. Matt is very big into film. Myself, I'm very big into art.
Yeah.
So, we just decided to use that gift to glorify.
Yeah. And it's amazing how God uses our gifts, because it's like a collaboration of the two, right? Editing, video production, now learning sound, the artwork, the design, even you putting your ideas into this. If you are watching for the first time, my brother and I have always worked together creatively, but never for the kingdom together. And now we get to work creatively for the kingdom. And I think that's like just an awesome thing, because why wouldn't you want to use your gifts and your creativity to push the kingdom forward, not just for yourself?
Yeah, it's something we talked about in our earlier episodes. If you watch the first season, just trying to be used by God, right? And, man, me and Matt had a deep conversation a couple of days ago. Like, even as you're walking with Christ and, you think, man, I'm so much more mature in my faith, there's still growing to do. You're never going to be perfect and satisfied, and there's always going to be tests, right? To test your faith, test your loyalty, see where your mind, your heart is. And that was me and Matt this week. Even still to this day, we have to check ourselves, right? We were talking, and it's funny, we were being tested in the same thing.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Even though we are creatives and we want to use our gifts, at the same time, you have to be careful that you're not doing it for the wrong reasons. Me doing art, it was like, who doesn't want to make money?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie here. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I do love to paint, but wouldn't it be more awesome to see my painting or whatever creative thing I created in someone's house, and, knowing that I got to use that gift to support my family.
Yeah.
And same with Matt with creating,
Yeah.
So we had this conversation this week, which was, hey, even if, we had to remind each other, even if there is no money, in doing the podcast and doing the ministry, we still get the satisfaction of knowing that we get to help others.
That's right. And I think that's a scary thing for anybody who's like an entrepreneur, creative. You are thinking about, where's my next paycheck coming from? How am I going to do it? I mean, that was me in the beginning of the year. I was like, I want to go full time with this. I got to go. Like, the mindset was like, I got to go full time with this. And God was reminding me, and you were confirming it, like, where's your faith at? Is your faith in me or in yourself? Because I could be limiting myself because I have no faith in God. And God's like, I want to do greater things. And you're just settling for this little thing. So that's something that we have to be careful not get caught up with, is always checking ourselves. Like in Romans says, right, evaluating yourself and seeing where you're at. It's a really great place to be, to know that, hey, you know what, man, maybe I am going in the wrong direction. Let me fix myself. And God's grace, mercy, love is like right there to keep you on that right path.
Yeah. I told Matt, it doesn't ever feel good being tested for the most part, right? But knowing that God is choosing to test you because he wants to use you, give you a little bit more, right? There is more responsibility, as the Bible says, when he's going to give you more, when he's going to trust you more. He can't give you something if he can't trust you with it, right? So being tested, what is your is your ambition to further the kingdom, or is your ambition to further yourself, promote those things? And it's a difficult balance, and it's a constant checking of each other and ourselves to remind ourselves, like, it's not about us, it's about others. And that's why we're doing this. It's very difficult.
And I think if you think about the time that we took off, to me, it's just a minor setback for a major comeback, like they always say, right? But it was like a setback to remind ourselves, like, why are we doing this? You can't do anything if you yourself are not right, with your walk with God, with your relationship, with your reading, with your praying. yeah, you'll be able to do it on your own strength, but they'll get to a point where they call it like a burnout, a crash and burn. And then you're wondering like, why am I here? I don't want to do this no more. I'm walking away from this. And I think this whole time that we've taken away has realigned the way we see things, the way we look at things. You know, I'm not wearing these sunglasses just to look cool. You know, I was talking to my friend Rad today, and I was like, I really feel like God slowed me down real quick. And I'm wearing these sunglasses because my son David loves to wrestle. You know, we've been watching wrestling, you know, and he's like, Dad, come wrestle with me. He has his Lucha Libre mask on. And I'm like, dude, how could I say no to that? This dude wants to wrestle. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And we're just wrestling, having a good time. And I promise this dude just cocked his hand back and just socked me in the eye. And I felt it right there. I was like dazed. I was like, oh, shoot, this is crazy.
Dang.
I didn't think nothing of it, right? I was like, all right, cool, we're good. Well, you know, Sunday comes around, Monday comes around. I can't even open up my eye. Now it's Thursday, and I woke up in the morning. I'm like, I really can't open my eye. This is bad. Went to the eye doctor. Long story short, my eyeball's swollen, right? Not a good thing. Had to take steroids for my eye, not the steroids you're thinking of. And, you know, I was telling Rad, I was like, maybe God was just trying to slow me down, right? Get your eye on the ball, right? Refocus your eye on the right things. And I just say that because it's just like sometimes we can just get caught up, right? See things on social media, see things in life, and we're like, I'm supposed to be over there already. You know, I'm about to have a daughter, and in my mind, I'm like, man, I gotta be ready before December comes. I gotta be this amount in the bank account. Diapers are gonna be expensive, X, Y, and Z. And you're like, you know, we're talking. You're reminding me like, hey, bro, like God got you. He's our provider. Like, why are you tripping? And it's true. It's like, man, we can't be tripping sometimes as human beings because we want to take control of things and have it our own way.
Yeah, it's
know?
funny.
So,
The eye thing, you know, me and Matt were on the phone today, and I was laughing. I was like, that devil trying to take your vision.
he was.
We're just kidding. You know, not everything's the
Yeah,
devil.
it's not.
But at the same time, it's true, right? Like, without your vision, I mean, this dude was telling me, man, this morning, you know, I was having anxiety because I was like, I'm gonna not see anymore.
Yeah, I really thought that.
This man said that he was laid in bed last night with one eye open, pretending to see what it would be like to live with one.
I was like, oh wait, I can't look to the right or left with just one eye. I was like, this is crazy.
I'm like, brother. But you know, we're laughing about it today. It's like, man, that's a sermon, right?
Yeah,
you know,
for real.
you know, without vision,
Yep.
you know, what are you gonna do? And you know, it's full circle because it's like, you know, it was like we were blind in one eye.
Yeah.
Like we had that vision of what we wanted 99 for one to be, but we were lacking that other eyeball, if you want to say, you know.
Yeah.
And this is like, you know, coming back this time around, I pray and I'm asking God, you know, for that grace and that blessing for this to be both eyes, you know, being able to see what we were really supposed to do. And, you know, it's not a play on words or we're trying to, you know, but it's ironic, right? Yeah. But, you know, vision, you know, that's the vision of 99 for one. And we were lacking, you know, we were lacking in some areas where, like I said, we couldn't see the full scope of what God wanted to do. And it's funny, right? Because that lack of vision will limit you.
Yeah.
You know, God has like I was saying, Matt, God has something way greater. And a lot of times we block it because we only see it from our perspective. But usually God's, you know, what God wants to do is always going to be greater than what we could even imagine. You know, so here we are thinking 99 for one was just a podcast, but along this new journey that we've gone on of, you know, starting this ministry, we've got to meet so many great people. And we have so many stories. Stay tuned. Some funny stories, some crazy stories of just going out and meeting people where they're at. You know, going to the mall, going to, you know, runs, different things. And we got to meet so many awesome people, man. You know, tomorrow we're getting to do a pop-up event, a Christian pop-up. I'm going to sell some art. And we're going to share the vision and the mission of what 99 for one was always supposed to be, and hopefully get people on board, man.
Yep.
Like
that's so exciting when you think about it, because it's all God. You know, we're not just saying that to be all humble. No, like when we really thought about the vision and made it clear about going out for the lost sheep, reaching those, going into places that God sent us to, He brought the people. It's like that scripture. Right? It's like the harvest is plentiful, right? But the workers are few. It's true. Like we were just thinking like YouTube, podcast, T-shirts, like, and God was like, "Nah, go think bigger." And as soon as that momentum started going, we just started seeing God go and go. And just to be able to go out tomorrow, who knows who we're gonna meet, who we're gonna be able to pray for. You know, someone's gonna feel like I'm more than guaranteed it's gonna happen. Someone's gonna feel like I am that lost sheep. Maybe right there in that moment, and we'll be able to get to share with them the parable and how Jesus is going after them and wants to save them and what he has planned for them. So I think it's just an awesome thing, to talk about.
And, I love at the end of the scripture, it says, that, the rejoicing of that sinner. We talked about that this week in, our men's discipleship. It's like, in order to receive Christ, you have to accept the fact that you are a sinner, right? And I think with the 99 for 1, it shows people that it doesn't matter where you're at. Jesus is always trying to get to you, So even if you are that lost sinner, even if you are feeling like, man, I'm too far gone, or I've tried that, it didn't work, that's why I love the parable of the lost sheep. Because it's like, dude, he has 99 sheep. What the heck does he need that one? What's so special?
No, yeah.
It's you.
Mm-hmm.
You are that special one.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see myself as anything special, and many times he was coming after me. We always laugh about that and joke about that. Like, I found Jesus. He wasn't lost. We were lost, and he found us. And, so it's awesome that tomorrow there may be someone at a Christian event who's struggling with that. I'm a sinner. I don't even know why I'm here. But then we share this story, and it's not even us. It's just we're getting to be vessels and tools used by God to share that. Hey, look, man, you're that one sheep. I don't care what you think or what you believe. He's coming after you.
Yeah.
And you might as well just surrender right now, because he ain't gonna let you fall off that cliff like a lost sheep. Right. So
I think that's awesome, because in this world we see it. Love is dying. It's not what we used to see. And so to know that there is a God who loves you, truly loves you, who sent his son to die for you, and it's a free gift. You don't got to earn it. You don't got to like, sometimes it's hard to believe, right? Like, it's a free gift. But if you really, so we're talking about at the men's discipleship this week, was if you really think about that and ponder on that, I didn't deserve that. I was the worst of them. I was jacked up, messed up. Jesus picked me up, put me on his shoulder, and cleaned me up and set me on my way. And he's going to do that for whoever's watching this. Rob was like, hey, we got to get episode out. Even if it's a teaser, even if it's just, reintroducing ourselves, we want y'all to know that the reason why we'll be on here or have guests on here is to show the love of Christ, and that the one will be saved. That one lost sheep will be saved. That is the mission, and God's going to accomplish it.
Yeah, like we said, we just came on here so that way, people get to see what we were trying to do and what we're going to continue to do. It was a small break. We're back. We don't want to share too much right now. I mean, you heard Matt saying he's having a baby girl. He's already has 2 boys.
We'll talk about that in another episode
we'll
too.
talk about that. As I was saying, we've met a lot of cool people, interesting people, funny people, awesome people, and the most radical, crazy stories that you hear about, from other people. We're getting to experience it. So many awesome testimonies we want to share, but we can't share it all right now. But we just wanted to give you that reintroduction, the realignment of the vision, the mission, why we're here. And man, if you're one of those people who's like, man, I'm a lost sheep. I was maybe you're not a lost sheep no more. You've been found, but you're resonating with this, ministry. Reach out to us. I mean, we're not looking to make this about me and you. We've already met dudes who have their own gifts, and we've met dudes who work out. We met guys who are cooks, who have meal service companies and all sorts of different businesses. And it's like, you know, we can all come together, glorify God's kingdom, share what your story is. So reach out to us. We'd love to hear your story. We'd love to get you on the podcast. We want to start doing small segments of people's testimonies, how they were once lost and Jesus found them. So if you're listening to this, man, and you're like, dang, I want to share my story, you know, get on the Instagram, TikTok, email, whatever way you need to reach us. We'll be looking
send a letter. Gotta send a letter. Now, all the information will be in the description on this YouTube video, Instagram, TikTok, everything. Send us a DM. We want to know. We want to, you know, meet you, talk to you, and even if it's like, hey man, I need some prayer. Hey man, I'm lost. I don't know what to do next. You know, don't hesitate. You know, we, like Rob said, we are just being used by God. We may not have every answer, but we will pray. We will pray for you, you know. And so, yeah, like Rob said, like, don't hesitate to reach out.
You know, it's a team, you know, it's not about us, it's about God. So like we were saying, man, we got people who already want to represent any way possible. And, you know, they're sharing the vision and the mission. And, you know, we had to make this video because we're like, dude, like, how are we going to, you know, have this ministry being heard about? And then they're like, dude, those videos are a year old. So we're like, hey, let's get something out. Like we said, we don't want to give everything out today. So stay tuned, man. We are coming back with many crazy stories that you probably haven't heard. Things you probably are wondering, questions, why we took such a long break. We have some crazy stories about that, but stay tuned. 99 for 1 is back, and we're happy about it. So
we're happy.
Like we said, man, stay tuned. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Catch you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.